Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Buffalo, a positive path for spiritual living. And we welcome all those that are here today in person and those that are joining us online, either right now live or later in the day or the week. I invite you to please quiet your cell phone so we can really be fully present for our message and our sharing today. And just a reminder that if you do have a call that you really need to take, please step out into the front foyer or out front to take the call. Thank you. And so we are blessed to have Emma Hicks back with us today, a student at UB School of Music, and she is going to open our service with Yes, I Am by Daniel Nahmad. Yay, Emma!
Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God, my God. And I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God. Yes, I am here to learn. Yes, I am here to live. Yes, I am here to be the love of God, my God. And I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I know forevermore that I am loved. Yes, I am here to love. Yes, I am here to serve. Yes, I am here to be the love of God, my God, of God, my God, of God, my God.
Wonderful. Thank you, Emma. Thank you so much. So good morning, and welcome to this glorious day, this brand new baby day, to Unity of Buffalo. And please join me in our opening prayer as we take a moment to get centered. And so I invite you in this moment to just bring to mind something that you feel very grateful for. Maybe the sunshine, the gift of having woken up this morning and this whole brand new baby day ahead of us, our community, and feel yourself bathed in that energy of love and appreciation. And from that place of filling up and spilling over, we open our hearts and open our minds to appreciate this time together, our service, the song, the message, the prayers, the community that supports us in so many ways. And so it is. Amen. Welcome. So I invite you to affirm with me our invocation, the core foundational principle of unity. There is only one presence and one power living as the universe and as me, God the good, omnipotent. And we affirm together our church vision, mission, and core values. The vision that we are working to bring forth is a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And the part that we have to play as our ministry, Unity of Buffalo, practices the presence of God through prayer, education, service, creativity, and community. And we do all those things every Sunday morning when we come together, and in spirit groups and in lots of ways. And we also practice our core values, and I'll invite you to practice these with me as we say them. Loving, give yourself a hug, a little self-love, and then extend that out to others. Spiritually centered, we can tap our heart or remind ourselves of the presence of God. Inclusive, that we're open and welcoming, respectful, namaste, and compassionate, coming from our heart to be with each other in service. So, part of our spiritual practice is reading the Daily Word, Unity's publication of inspirational messages, and I think Nikki is our reader for today to share a message about world peace. Go, Nikki!
Good morning, Unity. What a beautiful day. Today's theme is world peace. That should be the theme for every day. For Sunday, April 16th, 2023. I live my vision for a peaceful world. To bring about peace in the world, I begin by paying attention to my first reaction when I feel that I have been treated unjustly. I do not deny my feelings, but neither do I allow anger, envy, or other negative feelings to take control of my response. To feel my feelings, I remain committed to living the truth I know. Regardless of behavior, every person is a divine being, a living expression of God. I call upon my divine faculties of love, faith, and strength to guide my next steps. No matter how another responds, I remain centered in God. My efforts make a difference. Peace between individuals creates peace within families, in communities, and among the nations of the world. The effect of righteousness will be peace, and the result of righteousness, quietness and trust forever. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 17, and I invite you to read the affirmation on the screen. I live my vision for a peaceful world, and let us all continue to spread world peace and to try to attain a peace by spreading kindness and peace and love and compassion every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. Great job. Okay. Well, now I have the opportunity, the blessing to introduce. It's nice we have not just a guest speaker. All of our guest speakers, I think, are special, but Reverend Shad Groverland is especially special. We're blessed to have Reverend Shad and his wife, Erna, who have been in town with us. They were here all day yesterday presenting a wonderful workshop. Reverend Shad presented on the power of focused ministry. And we had about 45 people here from Canada, from Unity of Albany, from Syracuse, from Westlake outside of Cleveland, and quite a few. And I think it was a great learning experience for us about how we can be more effective in reaching people that will resonate most with our message. So I wanted to just say a few words about Reverend Shad. He's been in Unity his whole life. He grew up in Unity. His parents were Unity ministers. They served at a church that grew to be pretty good size out in Boulder, Colorado. He's been in his position as president and CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries for about 2.5, 3 years. But prior to that, he had a career in music and sound production. And he worked with some of the big casinos in Las Vegas. And so he knows sound. He understands the importance of it and how to try to make sure your message comes through clearly and loudly. And then he felt the call to ministry, having grown up in Unity, been a youth ed director, a board member, a camp counselor, a family team leader. And he was able to attend the Urban Ministerial School, which is an online school based in the Detroit area. Detroit, my hometown. And he became ordained as a Unity minister, and he and Erna served a church in Las Vegas for 5 years, and then went on to serve the church in Boulder, Colorado, as co-minister with his sister for several years, and their father, Jack, until he was on the board for Unity Worldwide Ministries, and the position came open, and a few people kind of nudged him and said, "Shad, you ought to look at that." And no, not me. I'm going another direction. But we know how Spirit is. Sometimes it pulls us, and so he is. I really appreciate so many things about Reverend Shad, but that he's really getting out of the office and traveling around and spending time in our churches and looking and listening and meeting people and observing and saying, what can we do to help our ministries? The purpose of Unity Worldwide Ministries is to develop, equip, and support Unity leaders and communities to grow in innovative, sustainable, and cutting-edge ways. And quite honestly, you can't do that just sitting in an office at Unity Village. No matter how beautiful and inspiring it is, you got to do that by getting out and being with the people and seeing what's going on. And that's what he's doing, and that's the message he's brought to us this weekend. And that he's presented this workshop, I think, 21 times so far, and many more are scheduled. But without further ado, I want to invite Reverend Shad to come forward, and his message for today is when less is more. So.
All right. Thank you, Mary. All right, how is this side of the room doing today? Awesome. This section here, how are we doing? Goodness gracious. This section over here. We'll work on these two sections here. They already get it. We'll just give the message over here. Well, I am the president and CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries. Chance for And if you don't know, we do have about 650 Unity ministries around the world. And many times we are in our particular ministry and we think that is the Unity world, and we forget that there's an entire movement taking place. And that we have ministries in Africa, we have ministries in the UK, we have ministries in India, we have them on the Pacific Islands, we have them in Australia, all over the place. We have ministries. So what we're doing right now, exactly at this moment, is happening at ministries all over the world. I think that's pretty cool. I was actually blown away when I was invited to speak virtually at a conference in Nigeria to Unity ministers and congregations there. And I knew we had a lot of ministries in Nigeria, but when they turned their camera on and I saw this room full of about 200 people dressed to the nines, just in their gorgeous, the way they're dressed down there for Unity Mid-Church, I mean, they really dressed for church. I felt underdressed all of a sudden. And it just really hit me. We are all over the world with this message. And it's such an amazing, beautiful, powerful thing. So I just like to say that so we don't forget that this is happening everywhere, and there's something much bigger than just what's happening here, happening around the world. And that is what Unity Worldwide Ministries does, is organizes this effort worldwide. It actually helps plant new ministries in various locations around the world. So let's get to what we're going to talk about today. And I'm not advancing on my clicker, so I don't know if that's a thing. So I start off with a question. It's a rhetorical question. It's just for you to think about. What do you need to be happy? Now, oftentimes when we ask this question to a group of people, the first thing we think about are things. Well, I need a nice car. I need a nice house. I need a good job. I need a spouse that's not annoying. Things like that. What do I need to be happy? What do you need to be happy? I've actually come to this question several times in my life, where I've been going about just the mundanity of life. I've just been following the prescribed paths of life. And then I would stop and say, am I really experiencing any happiness right now? I'm doing a lot of the things I've been told to do by society, but am I really having any happiness right now? You can go ahead and advance the slide again, get that off the screen. So it's a question that I would invite people to start asking more often of themselves. What do I really need to be happy? And so go ahead and give me the next slide. This will be interesting. I've never done this. All right. So there's a fairly smart individual who said something fairly intelligent. He said, a calm and humble life will bring more happiness than the pursuit of success and the constant restlessness that comes with it. And what I find fascinating is that when we have someone like Albert Einstein, considered possibly the most brilliant human being that ever walked the planet, intellectually speaking, says a calm and humble life will bring more happiness than the pursuit of success and the constant restlessness that comes with it, that we as a humanity would stop and go, whoa, maybe we should consider what this person just said. I mean, they are perhaps the smartest person on the planet. Maybe we should actually stop and consider what this person just said. But I think for most of us, we just go, oh, that's fascinating. Anyway, I'm going to go back to being miserable. I'm just going to go back to doing what I always did and just be miserable. You don't have government stop and say, hold on, Albert said that? Oh, hold on, let's bring Albert in and talk a little bit more about this and figure out what he discovered. No, they just go, Albert's weird. He doesn't get it. And so we just go about the mundanity of our lives, just doing what we do over and over again, even though these brilliant ideologists, these brilliant masters say stuff like this all the time. So you can go advance off that. So when I think about how we have structured our lives in society today, there is this prescribed path that we have been sold on how we're supposed to live. And it starts at a very, very young age. I mean, I still hear it today, people asking little kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? Leave them alone. Does anyone in this room know what they want to be right now? Why are we putting that stress on kids? How about, what would you like to do right now? I would like some ice cream. Okay, that's achievable. But no, well, do you want to be an astronaut? I know you're 3, but I want to put the stress of having to answer this question about something you're going to do 45 years from now that you'll have no interest in when you actually become 18 because you realize it's almost unachievable and it's actually probably really a miserable career for most people unless you love science. So there's these things we've done in society. We've put together this prescribed path, like when you're very young, you're supposed to decide what you're going to do so that you can go to high school and you get good grades, and then you're going to be able to get your scholarships to go to college so you can go this specific career path, at a time in your life when you have no idea who you are or what you want to be, and you're going to get in debt for hundreds of thousands of dollars so that when you finally do know who you are and what you want to be, you can't afford to be that person because all you're doing is paying debt. But then on top of that, society's going to say, but don't forget, get that car you can't afford. And while you're at it, get that house you can't afford and rush into a relationship that you can't stand so that we can guarantee we've put a fence around you of misery you'll never get out of for the rest of your life. That's basically the path we have been sold in this culture. And what's amazing to me is we all keep accepting it. And we all keep holding each other accountable to it. So not only is there this insane system that someone put together and we all bought into, but now we all keep making sure it's moving forward. If you notice, if someone has a car that's not new, but it's working for a person, it gets them to and from work, but it's not new, its paint's fading, people start saying, you gonna get a new car? You thinking of upgrading? The person's finally paid off this vehicle. They finally have some extra cash in hand to be able to enjoy life and go, you need to get in debt again. You need to upgrade that car. You look like you're enjoying life too much. Same thing with a house. It's like, you probably need a bigger house. You probably need more room. I remember every time I shop for a house, the real estate agent starts talking about entertaining. You probably like to entertain. You're going to need a big kitchen. You're going to need a big living area to entertain. Don't forget your guest bedrooms because you like to entertain. I don't like to entertain. I don't want anybody sleeping in my house. But they kept convincing me you need this guest bedroom, you like to entertain. And I'd buy the house and go, I don't want anybody in my house. Why do I need this huge house? How did they talk me into this again? I cook small meals. I eat in small areas. I don't want anybody sleeping here. There's hotels for that. But the society says you've got to have extra bedrooms. You've got to have extra space. You have to have extra big kitchen. Just think in case you need to feed 57 people in your living room at some point, you've got to be ready for that. God forbid you just go tell them to eat somewhere else. But just start to look at these societal norms that have been put in place to keep us in debt, to keep us stressed, and to keep us a part of a system that does not bring happiness. So let me ask you this. Did anyone ever sit down with their guidance counselor in school, either in high school or college, and they started laying out your plan? Did that person ever tell you when that plan brings joy? No. They had this prescribed plan, but at no point did my guidance counselors in high school or college ever say, oh, and by the way, this is when joy comes into your life. And what's funny is we follow the guidance of individuals who they themselves probably have not found joy in their life. Joy is not even on the table of conversation. It's just career advancement. It's just more money, more things, more debt, more depression, more sickness, more pills, more chaos. So let's go to the next slide because I have no idea where I'm going. Another great master teacher, Mr. Miyagi, says, focus, Daniel's son. Focus. If you really don't know what is the focus in your life, someone else will choose it for you. Have you noticed that? If you don't know what you're focused on and what's the priority in your life, someone is happy to hand it to you. And there's 3 points in my life where I was just got on the train, I followed the system, I was in debt, I had the house, I had the car, I had all the things, and I was not happy, and I realized someone else had handed me their plan of action. And I'd say, this is ridiculous, and I would downside and say, I'm not going to do this again. And then all of a sudden, I'd get distracted, and all of a sudden, I was following someone else's prescribed path, and next thing I know, I was right back where I was a few years later. I remember I was working at the MGM Grand Hotel as a sound engineer. And so I would just mix the shows that we did, these big, wild, crazy productions out at the pool, out in the arena, all sorts of stuff. It was so much fun. Oh, my goodness. I've got some stories to tell. But anyway, I was good at what I did. I actually was a pretty responsible human being. I was raised in unity. I had some good morals, and they kept advancing me. Next thing, I was head of the sound crew, so now I was making the schedule for everybody there. And then they advanced me again, so I was head of the sound department. So now I was managing all the shows and putting them together. And then I was head of the entire production team. And then they moved me to the corporate office. And then I was sitting behind a desk all day and nowhere near the shows I absolutely loved being a part of. And I was like, they got me again. I was absolutely loving what I did. And they advanced me through the ladder, because we're all supposed to be on a ladder, advancing through the company to the point where now I'm sitting behind a desk under fluorescent lights instead of watching this incredible production take place in front of me that I'm helping to create with thousands of people cheering. And I'm like, wow, this is not exactly as fun as that was. I enjoyed that, but society told me to keep advancing out of my joy. Has anyone else ever had that experience? You advanced out of your joy? It's wild to do that. So let's just bump ahead a couple slides. Let's get past that one. There we go. Another pretty amazing person, Mother Teresa, said, live simply. And it's interesting, when I would get to these points in my life where I'd say, how did I get here again? I would look back and go, all right, when was I happiest? When did I have the most joy in my life? And it really was when I was living simply. When I wasn't striving to get to some amazing, creative, crazy thing. I didn't have some huge ambition to grow my house or get a better car or to increase my income. I was just living simply. And I would keep actually thinking back to when I had a job doing car stereo installation. I installed car stereos. This was in my early 20s. It's the type of job where when you get home at night, you did not think about your job. I wasn't like, oh, I wonder how that stereo is working out for that guy. I hope he enjoys it. Like, you didn't care. I got home, and my life was just whatever I wanted to do as soon as I clocked out. I was making enough money to have a nice apartment, simple. I wasn't having a huge ambition of owning that company someday. I was just installing car stereos, and I enjoyed my life. It was simple. There wasn't a lot of stress. It was very simple. And I would get to these points in my life where I'd complicate it and I'd go, when I had the most joy, I had a dumb job that really was meaningless to the world, and I enjoyed my life. But you think about how we actually hold each other accountable to this system of suffering. We actually shame people who are happy with a job like that. Or we shame people that actually want to live their life enjoying it. I think about growing up in Boulder, Colorado, which is like one of the skiing capitals of the world, lots of skiing going on there. We had a term for people that actually just chose to enjoy their life, and we call them ski bums. People that worked just enough to have just enough money to do what they loved, which is ski. And we call them bums. It's like, how dare you enjoy your life? Shame on you. You should be in debt and miserable and popping pills because of your depression. And you're out there on a mountain enjoying yourself? Shame on you. You're supposed to be contributing to society by sitting in a cubicle and wishing you were anywhere but there. Not that there's anything wrong working in a cubicle. I still work in a cubicle. But why did we create this system where someone who's enjoying their life is considered on the outskirts of society? We probably all know that friend who, out of high school, is like, actually, I'm just going to go travel. I'm not just going to go directly into college and lock myself down and shackle to a career I will not like later on anyway. I'm actually going to go travel and kind of figure out who I am first. Everybody's like, oh, you'll never go to college. You're a waste of space. I don't even know what you're going to do with yourself. What a waste of time. So let's go ahead and advance forward. So we started thinking about the focus and the priorities in our lives. What do I really care about? What do I really believe in? What really matters to me? Does the way I live my life align with my beliefs and my priorities? This is what I really came to in those moments when I was finding out that I was just following some prescribed path. What do I truly believe about life? I was raised in unity. I was raised with God in my life. I believed in God. But did my life actually align with my beliefs and my priorities? I believe in living simply, but I wasn't living simply. My life was not aligned with my priorities. My focus was not really from my heart to make more money. My focus was not to be more advanced in the company, to have more power over other individuals. I really wanted to have joy in my life, but my life was not aligned with my belief because I had not made it a priority. Does that make sense? If every morning I'd woken up and say, I am more concerned about joy than I am about money or how I look to this world, my life would have been vastly different because I would be making it my priority. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So I'm going to share with you a little setup here. We talk about what we really believe in. What do we truly believe in? A lot of times we're talking about a very surface belief. Well, here's a scenario in the Bible, and I'll set up the scenario. There's a father whose son he thought was possessed by a demon. And by today's standards, we know that the son has probably just had a mental illness or possibly epilepsy or something that looked like he was possessed. So he brings his child to the disciples to heal this child, and the disciples are unable to heal this child. So they sort of move it up the chain to Jesus. And they come to Jesus, they bring the father to Jesus. Now this father, you put yourself in this scenario, this father wants to heal his child. He wants his child to be healed. So they come to Jesus, and this is what Jesus says. Jesus said to him, if you are able, all things can be done for the one who believes. Immediately the father of the child cried out, I believe, help my unbelief. Look at what's happening in this scenario. This father so desperately wants this child to be healed. Anyone who's a parent or knows a parent knows that feeling of when your child is ill, how desperate you would do anything to make that child well. But Jesus has now told the father, this can only be done if you believe it can be done. Uh-oh. The father is hoping that this entity outside of him is going to do this, that this Jesus, this special character, is going to heal his son. He gets to this special character, and the special character says, I can't do this. Your belief is what's holding your child in sickness. You have to change your belief in order for this to work. And the father all of a sudden goes, uh-oh. He says, I believe, but help my unbelief. Because I only believe. I don't believe this is possible. I believe in theory in a God. I believe in theory of healing, but I don't really truly believe in God. I don't truly believe in healing. I don't truly believe in the power of the mind over the body. And in this moment, it's hitting the father that I'm actually the one holding my child in sickness because of my belief, my doubt, my fear, my ill concept of the world. And if you've been a parent, you know the things you say to your children are somewhat irrelevant. They're looking at how you live. They're looking at how you believe, looking at how you show up in the world. That's what grooms them into the human being they are. I've watched that with my daughter. I tell her stuff all the time. She's like, yeah, whatever. But what I do and who I am as a human being, I've seen has more impact on her. So this just seems, sometimes I question, is the Bible really real? Did this really happen? Is this just someone made this up? But in this moment, I feel the reality of this father's suffering in his own consciousness when he realizes, I have not done the spiritual work necessary to make my family healthy. Can you feel that moment in time when Jesus puts it back on him and says, I'm not the one that does the healing here. I'm just reminding you that you've got the power to heal. And the father goes, darn. What do we truly believe in? In this moment, the father just realizes he's been called out. He doesn't truly believe in the power of the mind and the power of healing. He was hoping that Jesus was going to do this for him. How often do we, in our modern society today, hope someone else is going to fix our problems? with some magic pill, with some fix in society, with some job incentive program. Someone's going to fix our problems because we don't authentically ourselves actually believe in God. We believe in God, but do we authentically actually believe in God and this powerful, this divine essence, this intelligence moving in and through all things? Because if we did, our lives would look drastically different. Do you agree? If you actually believed in God, your life would look drastically different. And we are quick to judge other people. Like we look at someone who says they're a Christian, and we go, you're not really a Christian. You say you're a Christian, but I've seen you at the bar. Come on. So we all say things, but do we truly in our soul believe there is this loving, beautiful omnipresence moving in and through all things? Because all of a sudden our lives would change drastically. Let's go ahead and advance the slides. So if I actually believe in God, which me for myself I say I do, then God must become a priority in my life. I can't just go around talking about like, yeah, I believe in God, I go to church, I do these things. God would absolutely have to become a priority in my life so that people could see it. What then in my life needs to shift to align with that belief and priority? I mean, if you really stopped this week and said, if I 100% authentically believe in God, my life would have to shift. I would have to be doing things differently. I would have to have my life so different that someone could just look at the way I'm living and go, yeah, that person actually believes in God. They don't just say it, they actually believe it. So go ahead and advance it. A couple of things I would have to do, 3 things. 1, I'd have to dedicate myself to a daily spiritual practice. You've heard that they talk about it takes 10,000 hours to master a musical instrument. How many hours do you think it takes to master life? Probably more than 10,000. A musician has to practice hours every single day to master their instrument. Don't you think we would have to take some time every single day to master this and this? If I actually believe in God, I would have to dedicate myself to a daily spiritual practice. Just coming on Sunday is not going to cut it. The world needs me to be spiritually authentic. I'd have to dedicate myself to a spiritual community. Think about what I talked about thus far. Our society is built to keep us in this system of suffering. Your neighbors, your family members, strangers are all there to make sure you stay within the confines of this system of suffering. Do you know how hard it is to work against everyone you know? That's pretty darn hard to say, you know what? I think my illness might actually be coming from something I'm thinking. I'm going to work on my consciousness. And they go, we're going to take you to prison. You're crazy. But you come in a space of like-minded individuals and they say, I'll pray with you on that. I'm going to empower you to make that happen because I believe that is true as well. Do you know how important it is to have community of people around you that believe and are heading in the same direction you are? In this world, you've got to have that to have any chance of actually having God in your life. That's why this is so darn important. The world has lost its mind. But in here, we can get it back by helping each other and supporting each other on this spiritual path that the rest of the world thinks doesn't even exist. And science has proven doesn't exist. And third, I'd have to dedicate myself to living unity principles. This is something I came to. I don't want to be a hypocrite. Is anybody else tired of hypocrites in this world? Get your hand up there. Are you tired of hypocrites in this world? Then don't be one. I am still a hypocrite. I will own. Is anybody else going to own that with me today? You're a hypocrite? Let's say it together. I'm a hypocrite. We are all hypocrites, but we can work on it to be less hypocritical because one thing the world does not need is any more hypocrites. Saying they believe in God, saying they do this spiritual practice, but they're not really doing much of anything. We see the person on any average day, they're still just a jerk showing up, being mean to people. I've got to dedicate myself to living unity principle so that this church doesn't need to advertise to the community that it's here. People just see these people out and about and go, what do you have going on in your life? You are not like other people I meet. And you go, oh, I go to Unity. I didn't have to yell at you in a street corner. I didn't have to throw a Bible at you as you walked by. My presence advertised how well this stuff works. So we say, well, what is unity principle? We are all one family as children of God, individualized, unique expressions of the one. If I actually believe that, how will that shift my life knowing I believe it and it is a priority to me? If I actually believed we are one family, and I actually believed we are all children of God, I authentically believed we are all children of God, I would have to be showing up differently in the world. I couldn't be talking about them and that group and that politician and those people and they did that and they did this. It's me. We are one family. I would have to be showing up differently. So let's go to the next slide. These are the conclusions I came to in my life. I'm not going to speak to you for your life. You are going to have a conversation with God. This is how my conversation unfolded. I decided I will not consciously or subconsciously, directly or indirectly suppress or harm members of my God family. We are not all one until we are all treated equitably. As a cisgender, heterosexual, white, middle-class male, I come with a bias in how I think the world works. And I have to come to realize that this system was made by people predominantly that look and act like me, and it has been made to benefit people like me and to suppress people unlike me. Which means I have to do a lot of work on my subconscious and conscious mind to make sure I'm not a party to that system and contributing to that system, and that I sit in a place of advantage to help break that system because of who I am. So go to the next slide. This includes all suppressed groups, Black, Indigenous, people of color, LGBTQ+, women, varying abilities, and animals. I will no longer be party to the suppression, exploitation, or consuming of members of my God family. I just can't do it anymore. And not only can I not actively do it, I can't allow these systems to even exist in my presence. I have to actively work to break these systems down. Again, if I truly believe in the oneness and that we are all children of God, and I truly believe in this and divine intelligence moving in and through all people, I cannot let my family be suppressed and harmed by systems that favor some and hurt others. And if I'm in a position I can do something about it, which I am now as the CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries, I have to actively work on that. Not only within myself, but in the societies that are perpetuating this problem. So let's get back to, what do you really need to be happy? What do you really need to be happy? Aaron and myself have been asking this question a lot since we got married. What do we really need to be happy? Because we're just so tired of the misery in the world. We just don't want to be contributing to it anymore. We just don't want to be buying into systems that other people are selling us that don't lead to anywhere but sickness and depression. Look at the people that we consider the winners of this system. Our celebrities and superstars. We figure that these are the winners of the system that we have put together. And we find out they're committing suicide. They're popping drugs like crazy because they're depressed out of their minds. And we don't change the system. We just go, yeah, that sounds pretty good. That's where I want to go. I want to be a billionaire that's just so crazy they think they can destroy the planet, and that's okay. Give me the next slide. So let's go to Mother Teresa's actual full quote is, live simply so that others may simply live. Look at the perspective she had in the world. She's working in third world nations that don't even have enough food to eat 3 meals a day, let alone 1 meal a day. And she's looking at the rest of society and she's like, come on, people. Chill out with the consumption. Can we share a little bit with the rest of the world? Can you just simplify your life a little bit so there's enough resources for other people to eat? let alone have a roof over their head. She's saying, just live simply, not only because it takes care of the rest of our God family, it actually makes you more happy. Living simply actually brings more joy into your life. When you remove all that clutter and nonsense in your life, all of a sudden the Spirit has room to flow. It's like a dam in a river. Once you start breaking that dam down, now the river can flow, but we're packing it full of junk and stress and nonsense and chaos and debt. Where does Spirit have room to flow? Go ahead, next. So this is where we ended up. We kept scaling down, asking ourselves what truly brings us happiness, getting rid of more clutter, getting rid of more junk, and now we've wound up in a 180 square foot tiny home. And it's all we've needed. We've been in it for 3 years. We actually had my daughter living in it with us as well, and our little dog too. How much do we really need to be happy? How many resources do we really need to use up to find happiness in this experience? And I've had people ask, so you guys don't have a shower? You guys don't shower? There is a shower in there, just so everyone's clear. We do shower. And we actually got to move it onto the grounds of Unity Village, so we now live on the grounds of Unity Village in our tiny home, which is like living in Shangri-La, because we just kept scaling down and allowing the Spirit to flow, and these amazing things have come into our lives that we could not even imagine, including this position, where we live, the people we're surrounded with, the staff I have, and being able to come out and visit beautiful, amazing people like you on a regular basis. Spirit just flows so much, we're kind of trying to hold on to keep up with all that's happening. Because we had a 5-bedroom home, we said, this is ridiculous. It's just holding junk. We scaled down to a 2-bedroom apartment. We said, this is still ridiculous. We only sleep in 1 bedroom. And we wound up here. So let's go to the final slide here. Another special person, the co-founder of our Unity movement, Myrtle Fillmore, said, true prosperity is not making money or putting out goods or developing property. It is determining what our souls require in order to cause them to unfold more of God. It is determining what our souls require in order to cause them to unfold more of God. The only reason we are here is to unfold more of God. You hear people say, the hardest question is figuring out the meaning of life. That is the most boring question. We're here to unfold more of God. It's a pretty simple answer. But getting there takes dedication and authenticity from us. And that is the truth as I experience it. Thank you. Thank you.
Now we will have our meditation, and Emma is going to sing I Have Faith. Actually, she's going to lead us. I would really like for all of us to sing with that, and then Shad will lead the meditation from that. So please sing along.
I have faith, I pray faith, I choose faith, I am faith, I have faith, I pray faith, I choose faith, I am faith, I have hope, I pray hope, I choose hope, I am hope, I have hope, I pray hope, I choose hope, I am am hope. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well. I have love, I pray love, I choose love, I am love. I have love, I pray love, I choose love, I am love. You are love, we are love, all God's children are love. You are love, we are love, all God's children are love. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well.
So I invite you, if you have not already, to close your eyes if you're comfortable, to sit with your spine straight as you can. Now take a moment to drop your attention from your head down the back of your spine to your heart. Dropping from the thinking of what I want down to the feeling of knowing what I truly need to find joy. When we settle the mind, when we slow down, when we tune out the distractions of the world, every day, we take time to become still, we'll find that true clarity, that essence of knowing what really matters in our life. What is my true priority in living? How do I want to show up in the world as an example? It's in those moments we take each day by slowing down the breath, by becoming still and quiet, and allowing another voice to speak other than our own or those around us. The voice of the Christ within, which truly knows where we could be going, should be going, and are going. And so we take an opportunity now to drop in, to tune in, and to listen. We recognize that the voice of Spirit is a quiet, unassuming, calming voice. If we don't take time away from the TV, the news, the podcast, the noise, will miss that quiet voice that's speaking within. As we dedicate ourselves to this practice, slowing down, becoming quiet, and simply listening. We're grateful for this opportunity to do this with loving, like-minded individuals in this room. And we give thanks. Amen.
And I'd like to invite Annabelle to come forward as our prayer chaplain for today, and we're including in our prayers Anna Kay and her husband Greg, Michelle, Millie, Mary, Julie, Bob Puffpath, Carol Schmidley, Joyce, Christopher, Mike Sirio's mother and family, and Mo's sister Pat. So thank you, Annabelle.
Please take a moment to speak aloud the names that are on your heart mind. Tamara, Lily, Mike. Bringing them here to this spiritual space. Beloved God, we're thankful for our opened hearts and the courage to look full face, eyes opened at ourselves and to get quiet and still. And to know that we're walking this path with others who are relating to our journey. May we each have the strength to sit with discomfort and love it, to listen to that still small voice and find joy. Thankful for this sense of community and this sense of radiance, which is within your heart, within my heart, within all of our hearts. I am here, and I love you now. We are in this together. I face you, and I face my shadow, and I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you, God. Thank you, family. Thank you, friends. Amen.
Emma, thank you for adding laughter to your prayers. Laughter is healing. I love laughter. And now, Emma will share with us what kind of world.
What kind of world do I want to see? What kind of world do I want to leave to my children's children? Now is the time to make up my mind. What kind of world is this gonna be? What kind of world will be my legacy to the generations for all humankind? It's time to decide what kind of world. Will it be peaceful? Well, am I? Will it be joyful and kind? Will it be all those things a child so easily describes? Oh yeah. Will everybody have enough? Will we speak in the language of love? Somehow I'm suspecting it's all up to you and I decide. What kind of world do we want to have? When will we be ready to start giving back to this precious place, to every young face? Tell every boy and girl, what kind of world? Will it be peaceful? Well, am I? Will it be joyful and kind? Will it be all those things a child so easily describes? Oh yeah. Will everybody have enough? Will we speak in the language of love? Somehow I'm suspecting it's all up to you and I decide. What kind of world do we want to have? When will we be ready to start being that for this precious place, for every young face? Tell every boy and girl, what kind of world? What kind of world?
Thank you. Thank you, Emma. Thank you. It was just perfect, wonderful. So, and I want to thank Reverend Shad and Erna for being here this weekend with us and helping us to answer that question for ourselves. What kind of world do we want to live in? And to align our hearts and our minds, our thoughts and our words and our actions to be part of creating that together. So thank you. And I kind of feel like after you talked about your small house, but I wanted to give you a little gift. Maybe don't be ruining it. Buffalo, what we want you to remember about Buffalo is the love we have in our hearts for you. And there is a shirt in here for each of you. Buffalo love, so maybe you can sleep anymore. But we want you to remember the love that we have for you. Let's give them our unity blessing together. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. Thank you. Okay, so now I want to, we've addressed two newcomers, but is there anyone else here? Annabelle, do you want to introduce? I've met, but I don't. Gino, oh, Gino, that's right. Yeah, Gino's back. Welcome. Yeah, we're so glad to have you back, Gino. And, well, Kathy, you have a friend here. Another Lonnie is in the house, so. Okay. So he's has a great conversationalist, so we'll be friendly and greet him. Anybody else who's for the first time or second or third time? Okay. Well, good. So, no, you've been here before, so thank you. It's good to have you here. Oh, okay. Well, good. So spread that Florida sunshine around. You must have brought it with you. So now we have an opportunity to, part of our spiritual practice is practicing generosity. And we think of sharing our tithes and love offerings as an opportunity to contribute to the mission and vision of Unity of Buffalo. And as we say every week, you can give in person, direct here at our church. And if you want to give today with a credit card or a debit card, you can see Christy after the service. Or also give online through our website or in the mail through checks. So let's take a moment to give thought to the thoughtful, generous giving that we share from a grateful heart. And we can bless these gifts with the affirmations on our screen together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Freely I give, and freely I receive. Thank you, God. And we have a little prosperity chant that we play during the...
What do I want? What do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? What do I want? What do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? Prosperity, I claim it, Abundance, is mine, Love, flows through me, I feel joy, all the time, I can have it, I deserve it, I claim it, it is mine, I can have it, I deserve it, I am it, it is mine, peace fills my heart.
So let's bless these gifts together with our affirmation on the screen. We bless these gifts and see them pressed down, shaken together, heaped up, and running over. Thank you, God. Amen. And so we have a few transformational opportunities. And the first one was announced in our email blast this week. I was going to say drum roll, but we'll be participating again this year with the Network of Religious Communities Annual Appreciation Dinner. And our board selected 5 people in our community that we want to honor this year. It's been about 3 years since we've participated because of they didn't have the dinner for several years because of COVID, but it's an opportunity for us to join with faith communities throughout Western New York in celebrating the good works in our community. And this year we're honoring Don Hicks. Yay, Don! Tiffany Jadu, one of our former board presidents. Yay! Annabelle Ludwig, our current board president. Max Redlowski, who's in the back office. And Mike Wickham, who's here in the house. So, over the 20 years or so that we've participated in this, we've honored a lot of people, many of whom are in the room right now, but people who have, over an extended period of time, made a significant contribution to our community and our world. So on Thursday, June 1st, is the dinner at 6 o'clock, and there is information over on the sign-up table. Please sign up, and we'll need to have you pay for your dinner tickets by May 21st to put in the order on that. The other thing I want to mention that's really important is that this week our dear beloved Rosie Robinson turns 90. And I've been talking to her about how much she's looking forward to seeing what this new decade, what the world's going to look like on the other side of 90. And you just have to know that Rosie is one of our longtime, most beloved church members. And so there are some cards over there. I brought in a bunch of blank cards. You can take one and write it today, or bring one, and we're going to take a bundle and some balloons to her house on Thursday. So I've got a bunch of classes going on now. Lynn and I are continuing the prosperity class on Monday at 2 o'clock. The new member class will begin this week, or this Monday, that's tomorrow, at 5 o'clock here at church. It'll be live, but if you need to access it online, please see me afterward. And Annabelle is continuing the Art of Quantum Living. We've had one session, that's on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock. I don't know if it's too late to start or...
Because we only have one class so far, if you're able to make the other 5 classes.
You could jump on board. Otherwise, there's a Thursday evening class that'll be starting in May. So, and that is really a transformational opportunity class for sure. And then we've got our spirit groups, our next spirit group series starting on May 13th, and we're going to study Discover the Power Within. And that is, you talked a lot about Unity Classics. That is really probably one of my number one go-to books. Somebody wants to know about Unity, that's the book to give them. But it's always worth reading and rereading and going over, because it's a classic for a reason. So next Sunday we'll have our Earth Day service. Alan Jameson is going to be here to provide us an indigenous voice on understanding this. But Judy and I are really excited. We just found out this morning, we're looking online, Joy Harjo, who was the first Native American poet laureate for the United States and is from Oklahoma, is going to be at the Montante Cultural Center this Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock. So we're going. If anybody would like to join us, please. And if you don't know who Joy Harjo is, see Judy. And also, we're going the following week on Wednesday night to hear Isabel Wilkerson at Kleinhans. And if you don't know who she is, you got to see Judy too. But both of these people, Joy Harjo and Isabel Wilkerson, are very important voices in our world for just what Reverend Shad talked about today. And I feel like this is really a very special opportunity for us to really hear some very profound voices on important subjects for our world. So I think we are now ready to, and just a reminder, Annabelle will be available after the service in our Lighthouse Corner for one-on-one prayer support. And did you have a brief Earth Day? Okay, briefly, yeah.
Y'all know that my birthday is coming up and Earth Day is coming up, and both are passions of mine. And so I wanted to share that passion. Not so much my birthday, but Earth Day is a passion of mine. So coming up, Buffalo Niagara Waterkeeper is holding a spring sweep. So if anybody wants to get involved with cleaning up the world that we're going to leave behind for our children, up on the board there is a screenshot that you can get the information to go to their website to sign up to participate in an Earth Day cleanup. There's going to be several locations throughout Western New York, so you can find one near you. You register, you just give up 2 hours of your time and help clean up some garbage and help make this world a better place. And you brought me to tears again with that "what kind of world?" So thank you.
Celebrate your birthday. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. Sheila?
Just real quick, I'm trying to gather the choir for next Sunday.
Oh.
Some of us have committed already.
Okay.
We're going to practice right after today for that
Oh,
song.
great.
We can even change is what we're doing. It's a familiar song for a lot of people.
Great.
We're going to practice Wednesday at 5:30, 5:45-ish, and then
Okay.
we'll practice next Sunday at 9 before.
Great, great. Okay.
Join in for that.
So Sheila is saying if you want to be part of the choir singing next Sunday, today right after the service, Wednesday at 5:30 here at church, And then next Sunday at 9, come early to warm up your voice. Thank you, Sheila, for pulling that together. Okay, good. I think we are ready now. Let's stand and form our closing circle. And a prayer for protection together. The light of God